Hello everyone, I want to look at the skills for the new hero Mira. So Mira here is a Graveborn hero, an intelligence-based hero. The class is a mage and the primary role is burst damage. So let's go ahead and start with the ultimate skill here. It's called Reflective's Revival. So Mira can take both a human form and a Graveborn form. In human form, Mira's normal attacks restore her energy, while in Graveborn form, Mira launches magic orbs at the enemies. This skill can only be used actively while in human form, dealing damage equal to 300% of her attack rating to all enemies on the battlefield and applying 3 stacks of Wandering to them. Mira then changes into Graveborn form for 10 seconds, after which she returns to human form. Mira is invincible and cannot be targeted while changing forms. The Wandering effect cannot be dispelled, and upon reaching 8 stacks, the enemy becomes terrified for 3 seconds, during which no more stacks of Wandering can be applied to them. And this also has a passive ability to it as well. Upon taking fatal damage, Mira retains 100 health and gains immunity to death for 2.5 seconds, plus a shield with a value equal to 65% of her max health. When the death immunity effect ends, the remaining shield value is converted into health. Death immunity can be triggered 2 times per battle. If Mira is in human form, when triggered, she immediately casts Reflective Revival to change into Graveborn form permanently. And with the level 2 ability, damage is increased to 350% of her attack rating when the passive is triggered by taking fatal damage. The value of the shield gained is increased to 90% of her max health. And the level 3 ability here, damage is increased to 400% of her attack rating. When Mira is in Graveborn form and has more than 500 energy, she gains immunity to control effects. So doing some damage here while in her human form, also applying some Wandering stacks to them. And if the enemy receives 8 stacks of Wandering, they are terrified for 3 seconds, so it has some crowd control in here as well. Also has immunity to death with the passive ability as well, so that's pretty cool. So let's go ahead and look at the second skill. This one is called Hunter's Mark. This is a passive ability. At the start of battle, the enemy hero farthest from Mira becomes a hunter until the battle ends. Every 10 seconds, or when all hunters on the battlefield die, the next farthest enemy hero is selected to become a hunter. Allies deal 15% more damage to hunters, and damage taken from hunters is reduced by 15%. With the level 2 ability, damage dealt to hunters is increased by 35%, while damage taken from them is reduced by 35%. With the level 3 ability, every 8 seconds, or when all hunters on the battlefield die, the next farthest enemy hero is selected to become a hunter. And for the level 4 ability, every 6 seconds, or when all the hunters on the battlefield die, the next farthest enemy hero is selected to become a hunter. So having hunters on the battlefield allowing allies to deal more damage to them and also take less damage from them as well. And also the time it takes for enemy heroes to become a hunter is reduced as well with the level 3 and level 4 abilities here. So let's go ahead and look at the third skill that we have. This one is called Hunter's Seal. In human form, Mira targets the enemy farthest from herself and teleports them to the area of the enemy battlefield with the highest concentration of allies, then deals damage equal to 160% of her attack rating and stuns the enemy for 2 seconds. In the Graveborn form, it continuously casts a spell at the enemy with the highest health, inflicting multiple strikes of damage equal to 120% attack rating and applying 1 stack of Wandering. If any hunters are present on the battlefield, then Mira's skills in both of her forms will prioritize targeting them. With the level 2 ability in human form, the damage dealt after teleportation is increased to 200% of her attack rating, and the stun duration is increased to 3 seconds. With the level 3 ability in Graveborn form, the damage from each strike is increased to 180% of her attack rating. If casting is interrupted, the speed of the next cast will be increased by 30%. And then we have the first engraving skill here. When cast, Mira selects 1 additional enemy to target. If there are not enough targets, the attack power of that cast is increased by 50%. So with the human form, teleporting the enemy to the highest concentration of allies in the enemy battlefield, so that can be very useful, so the allied heroes can attack that enemy there, also stunning the enemy for 2 seconds as well, so they can't really do anything for 2 seconds. And also wearing down the health of the enemy with the highest health in the Graveborn form here with this one, doing quite a bit of damage here, also applying 1 stack of Wandering. And this will prioritize any hunters that are present on the battlefield, and that applies to both of Mira's forms. And the engraving skill here sounds pretty good, having an additional enemy to target with this skill, and also if there are no more enemies on the battlefield, if there's only 1 enemy on the battlefield here, the power of the cast will be increased. So looking at the final skill here, we have Phantom's Glare. In human form, Mira targets all hunters and places a mirror spirit behind each of them for 4 seconds. When an enemy with a mirror spirit uses their ultimate, the spirit will dispel most of their buffs. In the Graveborn form, Mira targets all hunters and places a mirror shadow behind each of them for 4 seconds. Mirror shadows have the same effect as mirror spirits, but mirror shadows also terrify enemies, dealing damage equal to 80% of Mira's attack rating and applying 1 stack of Wandering every 1 second. And with the level 2 ability, the duration of mirror spirits is increased to 6 seconds, and the duration of mirror shadows is increased to 6 seconds. The damage dealt by mirror shadows is increased to 140% of Mira's attack rating. With the level 3 ability, for each enemy with a mirror spirit or mirror shadow, Mira recovers an extra 50 energy. And we have the second engraving skill here. For each enemy with a mirror spirit or mirror shadow, Mira's attack rating is permanently increased by 15% for a maximum attack rating boost of up to 60%. So dispelling most of the enemy's buffs here if they have the mirror spirit or the mirror shadow, if they use their ultimate here, if they have that mirror spirit or mirror shadow. But the mirror shadow will also terrify enemies and also apply 1 stack of Wandering every 1 second, so that sounds pretty powerful. And then the second engraving skill also sounds very powerful because it will permanently increase the Mira's attack rating. And that has a maximum boost of 60%. So that is all the skills. Let's go ahead and look at the signature item in here. The signature item is called Wayward Bind, and unlocking the signature item, when Mira attacks an enemy affected by Wandering or Terrified, they may suffer health loss equal to 1.5% of their max health, not to exceed 150% of Mira's attack rating. With the plus 10 signature item, health loss is increased to 2.5% of the enemy's max health, not to exceed 250% of Mira's attack rating. With the plus 20 signature item, when stacks of Wandering trigger Terrified, if the enemy is immune to control effects, they take an extra damage equal to 4% of their max health, not to exceed 400% of Mira's attack rating. With the plus 30 signature item, when stacks of Wandering trigger Terrified, whether or not the enemy is immune to control effects, they always take extra damage equal to 7% of their max health, not to exceed 700% of Mira's attack rating. And then we have the plus 40 signature item. The energy recovery rate of enemies affected by Wandering or Terrified triggered by Wandering stacks is reduced by 30. Mira's normal attacks also apply 1 stack of Wandering. So having health loss in here for the enemies if they are affected by Wandering or Terrified, and that increases up here all the way to the plus 30 signature item. And then also reducing the energy recovery rate of enemies affected by Wandering or Terrified as well. And also Mira's normal attacks can apply 1 stack of Wandering with the plus 40 signature item as well. So that energy recovery rate sounds pretty good. Let's go ahead and look at the exclusive furniture. This one is called Survival Drive, and for the 3/3 furniture, the first 2 casts of Reflective Revival will apply 8 stacks of Wandering. And with the 9/9 furniture, every time Mira switches between her human and Graveborn forms, 1 additional enemy hero will become a hunter. If all enemy heroes have already become hunters, the Mira will recover 50 energy for every surviving hunter. So that is quite a few stacks of Wandering for this 1/3/3 skill here. And you only need 2 casts of Reflective Revival to do that, so that sounds like a good deal. and also with the 9 of 9 furniture, making it easier for enemies to become hunters. And Mira can also have the chance to gain energy here as well if all enemy heroes are hunters. So that, again, that sounds like a pretty good signature, or pretty good furniture in here. And overall, my thoughts on Mira based on her skills, sounds like a pretty good hero in here. She has some damage in there, also has some crowd control as well. And she can provide a little bit of buffs, also some debuffs on the enemies as well. So if you like this video, then make sure to click the like button. Also subscribe to my channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss a new video from me. And also comment what do you think about Mira. And thanks for watching.